Hello everybody, this is Avos, and it's finally cold here in the Midwest, and cold means winter, and winter means hot cocoa, warm hats, and Christmas. And it just wouldn't be Christmas without poinsettias. Euphorbia pulcherrima. Poinsettias. Recognized almost immediately here in the States, and is a sign of the Christmas season bearing down upon us. For some it's a sign of good tidings and Christmas joy, but for others it may mean that the wonderful fall weather has finally come to an end, and it's time for the blustery wintry weather again. It amuses me that even though Christmas is associated with the winter wonderlands of snow and ice, this is a tropical plant from Mexico, which sees no snow in its native home. These were brought to America in the early 1800s and are named after Joel Poinsett, a part-time botanist and a full-time American diplomat to Mexico. Some people have heard rumor that this plant is toxic if ingested, and I'm here to assure you that studies have shown that it is non-toxic and will normally only cause stomach aches. But it does have a white latex sap similar to dandelions, so try to avoid breaking any limbs if you have a latex allergy. On to the nitty-gritty. When it comes to choosing the right one for you in the stores, there are a few things we want to look for right off the bat. Before we even think about what color or style we want, we need to discuss the quality of our plants. We want to make sure that our plants are happy and healthy so that they can be beautiful for as long as possible. Avoid purchasing plants infested with whitefly or fungus gnats. Whiteflies are usually found on the underside of the leaves and scatter pretty well when even slightly disturbed. They do little damage to the plants but are quite annoying in the home. Fungus gnats are an even bigger annoyance in the home. Naturally, they're found in the moist soils but will gladly jump ship into any sort of drain and constantly pester you. And they have an odd tendency to love flying about my face when I try and work around them. So try and avoid getting plants with either of these pests. Just lightly disturb the leaves and the soil, and if you see any tiny black or white specks flying off, walk out and pick a different store. This is a tropical plant, so do not select one that is spent time out in the cold. It may look good now, but when it warms up it will likely start drooping. When bringing a poinsettia home, try not to let it spend too much time outdoors. That said, do not pick up any of the plants that have started to wilt or droop. With these, there isn't much of a chance to save them, and oftentimes drooping leaves mean that there's something like pythium root rot that's set in, and that plant is as good as dead. But now that I've scared you with the impending doom, let's talk about the pretty things. These brightly colored features that are commonly called flowers are actually modified leaves called bracts. The true flowers often go fairly unnoticed, but they are in the center and usually colored fairly yellow. The true flowers are important. They're like visual timers to tell you how long this will stay pretty. They're like a series of small turkey timers. If all the center flowers have bloomed, the poinsettia is done and will go dormant soon after. When looking at our bright coloring, we generally want solid colored bracts without any green intruding on our colored leaves. Look for leaves to be uniform in shape and color, and funny shaped leaves usually mean that there was a micronutrient deficiency. However, there are marbled varieties, some that will have splashes of white, pink, or even red in the colored bracts instead of being one solid color. But if you have invasions of green, that usually means that there was a problem with the lighting. That's because these are short day, long night flowering plants. If you have some on your own that you've kept maybe over from last Christmas, or you bought one that was slightly miscolored, it will need long nights of uninterrupted darkness. And flashlights, headlights, or even street lamps can keep a poinsettia from putting on color correctly. If the poinsettia comes in a plastic hood, please carefully cut off the plastic. Do not pull it off. The branches are very fragile, and pulling off the plastic may damage the plant. Typically, poinsettias are red, white, cream, or even pink, but there are some orange varieties that are supposedly being marketed for Halloween. There are some sprayed with glitter paint, and some that are dyed or sprayed any other color from even blue all the way to fluorescent green. Okay, this is the prettiest part of the slideshow, and we're going to talk about a few varieties. There have been a lot of varieties introduced, and these are just a few that I think you should keep an eye out for. Prestige Red is a normal red, but when you start getting into some of the more fun ones, like the Winter Rose, you've got a white, crumpled head, Ice Punch, which is a personal favorite, which is this pink with marbled white. And then another personal favorite is White Glitter. It's red with a bunch of white specks. Now, other things that we need to know. We can purchase several types. Normally, they're grown with 3 to 5 flowering heads, but can be grown with a single larger head, or even grown out larger over several years to produce a large, standard-sized plant. Alright, everybody. Thank you for watching. Merry Christmas. This is Avos, signing out.